Hi guys, how are you today? I'm missing you from yesterday. Let's complete our unit. Now we are in the final lesson 3. Uh, Last week we have taken the light, the lesson of light. Now we are going to complete our new information about light. We are going to explain the most important part of light that we haven't mentioned it very well when we was in primary 5. So it's a real addition in your life to know it. Let's start our lesson today with light reflection. Have you ever asked yourself, how can I see my image in the mirror? How can I see my image on the water surface? How can I see the objects around me? All these questions have the same answer, that due to the light reflection. What is the meaning of light reflection? Light reflection, as we see here in this image, is reflecting back of light rays. Reflecting back of light rays. As you see, here is a light ray called incident light ray, and it will reflect back, like if you are playing with a ball. If you are playing with a ping pong ball, you will find that if you throw the ball, it will return back to you. The same idea happened with the light. But when the light moves and return back, it causes vision. It lets you see the other thing around you. So let's start our lesson today by the definition of light reflection. It's bouncing back of light ray. It's returning back, returning back of light ray when it falls on a reflecting surface. What is the reflecting surface? Anything around you is a reflecting surface. Your mom is a reflecting surface. The tree is a reflecting surface. The door is a reflecting surface. Any source of light is going to let the light come to the door, for example, and it will hit the door and return back to your eyes, so you can see the door. The same idea with your mom. The light will hit your mom and return back, so you can see your mom. And it is the same reason why we can't see anything in the dark, as there is no light to fall on something and let us see it. To understand what is the light reflection, we have to know that there are two types of light reflection. There is the regular one. What is the regular one, or the regular reflection? It is the reflection that you can see your image due it, like the mirror. If you are looking to the mirror, you can see your image. Why? Due to the reflection of light. Okay, so it's a regular reflection. The light rays fall down on the reflecting surface in the same direction and return back. All the light rays return back together in the same direction. And that has two conditions. The first condition, to the surface that reflects light with the regular way to be smooth, and the second condition to be shiny, to have luster, like the mirror, exactly. But when I look to a white paper, when I look to my mom, when I look to the door, I can't see my image. Why that happen? Why that occurs? Due to the irregular reflection of light. Because the light come down and fall on the reflecting surface, but the reflecting surface isn't smooth. It have many projections. It's not equal in the same level. It has different parts. It's like if it is broken, if you look to it by using a microscope, you are going to use that to know that the level of its particle is different from place to another. So it's going to scatter the light. Meaning what? It's going to cut the light to small parts and let the reflected rays be in different direction, not in the same direction as what was in the regular reflection. So in the case of irregular reflection, it is one condition to find it with the rough surface, like the table, like the door, like my mom, like a tree, like a wallpaper, or any other thing around you that you can't see your image on it. So, example of regular reflection, the mirror, that you can see your image on it. Another example, the clear surface of water, when the water isn't moving around. So you will see that the water surface look like the mirror. You can see your image on it. Okay, guys, let's move to the next part of our lesson. Here, guys, you can see a more clear image for the regular reflection and the irregular reflection. The regular reflection, like the regular students, which come in the same lines and they move in the same lines. But in the second one, which is irregular, they come from one way and they scattered and they diffuse and spread in different directions. Okay, guys. So what is our next point? Let's go back and see that image. Here we can see that image have 5 new things that we don't know it. One of them is called the normal, another one incident ray, the last one is reflected ray. What is he going to talk about? What does he mean? Here, guys, the light movement and the light reflection is controlled by a law, by a rule. So we have 2 laws of light. We have the first law, light law. We have the first law and the second law. Before describing the first and second law, we have to know important thing. What it is? Look here, guys. Here is the reflecting surface, and here is the light which is going to fall on the reflecting surface. So this is the reflecting surface. We can point to it, reflecting surface. Okay, and here is the light ray which is falling on the reflecting surface, so it's called incident. Incident, meaning the falling down light ray. Okay, to know the angle between that incident light ray and the reflecting surface, we have to make that line. That line is perpendicular, but it can help us to know the angle. So this line is called the normal line. It's called the normal line. Okay. After that, we will find that the light, our incident light ray, is going to reflect back. When it reflects back and you measure the angle of reflection, you will find some amazing idea. First of all, we know that the normal is a light ray or a straight line that is perpendicular on the reflecting surface. Why did I draw it? To can find the angle of incident light ray and at the same time I can find the angle of reflection. So I have the first angle, which is incident angle, and the second angle, which is the reflected angle. Without the normal, we can't know its value. We can't know if it is large or small. So we have to draw it. Now, what you like to know? First of all, the first part, A is the straight line perpendicular on the reflecting surface. Number B, the incident light ray. Number C, the reflected light ray. Light ray. What about 1 and 2? There are the angle. If the angle between the incident light ray and the normal, it's called angle of incident. If the angle between the reflected light ray and the normal, it's called the angle of reflection. Okay, let's move back again to law number 1 and law 2. We have two laws of light. First law and second law. Let's know what is the description of the first law. In the first law, we are going to know that the angle of incidence always is or equal the angle of reflection. First law, angle of incidence equal angle of reflection. Let's take a problem about it. If you know that the angle of incident equal 30, find out the angle of reflection. You are absolutely right. It equals 32. Okay, it's equal 30. To the next example. If he drew that line by this way and he told me that this angle is 60, what about this angle? Yup, it's 62. Okay, if he drew the angle like this and he said this angle is 45, find this angle and this angle. In this case, this part is a right angle. To find this angle, for example, I will say 90 subtract 45 to find it equal 45. Okay, what about the other one? Yes, it's the same. So this one is 45 and this one is 45. You are brilliant student. Let's move to the next example. If I want to find the angle of incident and angle of reflection without the presence of normal, he told you that this angle is 120. Can you imagine what is the angle of incidence and angle of reflection? I told you before, guys, you are brilliant. By dividing 120 divided 2, it will give you 60. So each one of them is 60. I think you got the idea. Let's talk about the second law of reflection. Let's talk about the second law of reflection. Second law of reflection. The second law of reflection is so simple if you know the different parts of the incident light rays, reflected light rays, and normal, and so on. Let's use our image here to let you remember it. The normal is in between the incident light ray and reflected light ray, and angle number 1 is the angle of incidence, angle number 2 is the angle of reflection. In the second law, we depend on the different rays, incident light ray and reflected light ray and the normal. So let's bring them together in one law. You can say that here, incident light ray, reflected light ray. and normal, where in the incident point all of them are perpendicular on the reflecting surface. And nothing new here, guys. Nothing. He didn't add anything. Let's look again to our image. You can say that normal, incident light ray, reflected light ray, all of them are meeting in one point called the incident point. At this point, all of them perpendicular on the reflecting surface, and nothing new. So don't be afraid of the first or second law. Let's look again to the first law, which mentioned that angle of incidence equal angle of reflection. But if the light ray fall perpendicular, meaning that if it fall as a right angle, what is going to happen? Would you please think about it? How would it reflect? In which direction? If a normal or the light ray come perpendicular on the reflecting surface. Yes, I will use the first law of light reflection, which said that angle of incident equal angle of reflection, and here equal 0. So it will not reflect back. It will not reflect back because the angle of incidence equal angle of reflection equal 0. Till now, guys, I think we have finished the first part of our lesson, and we are going to stop here. The first part have been finished. The first part. Okay, guys. I was nice to be with you this time, and I'm waiting to meet you again in the next session. I hope you study it very well. If you have any kind of question, you can send it to me. Thank you very much, guys, for listening. Goodbye.